This is Radio TV Phono Nut, and yeah, I'm sure you see the box in front of you here, and I'm sure you can already guess what this video is about, and I'm sure you probably guessed right. A little while ago, I think it was last Wednesday, saw this nice looking little Ward's Airlines 78 RPM Bakelite cased 78 RPM record player from about 1946 or 7. Very stylish looking cabinet. Well, surprisingly, I was the only bidder on it, and knowing what I know about Bakelite and past experiences, I emailed the seller, who by the way was charging $20 shipping and handling on this, which I know from some of the stuff I've shipped lately that it was going to cost more than that. But anyway, I emailed them, made them aware, or I thought I made them aware of how fragile these things are, and I asked them to double box the record player and use plenty of padding. And I even offered to pay extra for the proper packing. And they wrote back and said they'd take care of it, and whatever extra I could just pay it. Well, it arrived today, and the shipping was $8 more than what the advertised shipping was. But guess what? They're not going to get that $8, and here's why. Let me show you what double boxing means to some eBay sellers today. That means simply taking an old produce box like this and just laying it on top of the record player. And ample padding means throwing a few pieces of low-grade, low-quality, sparsely placed bubble wrap in the box. As you can see here, I thought there was one other piece, but I guess there's not. And let me get it out of the box and show you the result of this stellar packing job. On this side of the case, we have a nice big chunk missing out of here, and a nice crack running along here, and another nice crack running all along here. And we have the piece of recycled packing tape that was used to hold the tone arm down, although it didn't do a very good job, although right now that's the least of my worries. Now let's turn this beautiful thing around and look at side 2. Look at the other side. On this side, we also have a nice hunk of Bakelite missing out of the case. And here are some of the pieces laying in the bottom of the box. Now, I believe I found all but one of the pieces. But given how worn out this box is and how loosely taped it is, it's a wonder all the pieces didn't fall out. So, yeah. So, I've sent the seller a message and told them what I expect out of them, and I just laid it out on the line to them. I asked you to double box this. I asked you to use plenty of padding material. You did not do that, and since the post office is not going to honor a claim on a damaged item like this, then I'm expecting a full refund out of you. Now I'm waiting to see what they have to say. Hopefully they'll be cooperative and give me my money back without me having to get eBay involved. But, you know, if you have an eBay seller that's clueless, and if you don't tell them how to do it, then I can kind of understand getting something that's poorly packed. But when I tell them how I want it done, and even offer to pay extra for it, and then they do this crap, then I don't have any sympathy for them. And it serves them right to have to give me every penny of my money back. And they can either do it on their own, or I'll get eBay involved and let them do it. And what's really a shame is we have this nice piece here. This was a nice record player that survived 70 years in relatively good shape, only to get tore up by somebody's careless packing. And, you know, the only way in years past I played Mr. Nice Guy and he usually didn't pitch a fit, but in recent years I'm starting to pitch a fit, because the only way these sellers are going to ever get a clue is if we hit them in the pocketbook. I think what I'm going to do in the near future, since I've been selling some things on eBay, I'm going to make a packing video of some of the things that I sell, and we're going to demonstrate how to properly pack something up. And whenever I list something on eBay, I don't list it unless I have the stuff here on hand needed to pack it properly, and I do not overload myself with stuff. If I can't do the job right, then it's not going to get done. And if these eBay sellers can't do it right, then they have no business selling on eBay. It's just plain and simple. When I sell something to somebody, I want it to arrive in one piece, and I don't want to have to refund any money. Now, there's times that no matter how well you pack something, that it's going to get damaged. And in that case, you can file a claim with the carrier because, you know, if it's packed right, you stand a better chance of getting them to do something. But when something's packed like this, they're not going to give you one red cent, and who could blame them? I mean, something like this, it's a wonder it could make it across town without getting busted up, let alone across the country. Okay, as far as unaccountable pieces, the little piece that goes here is not accounted for. Unless it's inside the machine and I don't hear anything rattling around anywhere. And there's a small piece there that's unaccounted for. So 2 pieces of Bakelite that are unaccounted for. And yes, this could be glued back together, epoxied back together, and somehow patched up and painted, but still, I'd know it's cracked, and whenever something is cracked and repainted and re-glued, that still takes away the value of it. And besides, I bought something that was undamaged. I expect to get something undamaged. And here are 2 more pieces that I don't know where they came from. This brown Bakelite piece on the left looks like it something to do with the tone arm, but I can't find where it's broken off from yet. And the piece on the right is some kind of mounting stud, so it's likely something to do with what holds the chassis in place. Okay, the little piece of plastic goes on the power plug. Although given everything else, this is the least of my worries, but had the plug not been damaged, I might have removed it from the old rotten power cord and attached it to a new power cord. But yeah, I'm just very, very disappointed in this. All I can hope for now is that the seller refunds my money without me having to get eBay involved, but if they don't, then I'll just get eBay involved and get them to handle it. It ain't like I've not done it before. I mean, look at this crap. Like I said, it's a wonder that this would make it across town, let alone across the country. I mean, they ought to have to give me my money back on just stupidity. And no, there are no other pieces in this box. I've looked it over thoroughly, so if this thing ends up getting epoxied back together, I'm going to have to figure out a way to replace the 2 missing pieces. And just so there's no confusion, here are the 3 pieces of bubble wrap that were used. 1, 2, and 3. Heck, I've used more bubble wrap than this to ship a portable transistor radio.